Senator Amy Klobuchar is among the moderate Democrats running for president. She maintains a practical approach can get things done. Here's that part of the conversation. On a couple of those issues, when we talk about these moderate stances, it is, let's say, on the healthcare issue and higher education. You prefer the public option as opposed to the Medicare for all. In terms of higher education, you're support a free 2-year college program as opposed to the 4-year college that we've heard. And the argument that I've heard you make repeatedly in this campaign is that they can't get adopted generally. But isn't the truth that nothing can really get adopted unless the Democrats control both houses of Congress? So how can anything be done without that?
I wouldn't say that on all fronts. First of all, I want to send Mitch McConnell packing. And I think we have a very good chance of that. But that aside, I have been there and passed bills in a big way. And I know where the bodies are. So let's start. Infrastructure, so important to this area with the levees and with the waters and the flooding and everything else, roads, bridges, rail, you name it. Well, there are a lot of Republican votes for infrastructure. We just need a president that knows how to put together the deal and put together the money to fund it. And I'm the first one in this race that came out with a major infrastructure plan. I live 8 blocks from that bridge that fell down. I care about this. Secondly, immigration reform. Senator Grassley voted for the bill in 2013 that I supported. We can get that done better for our economy. Third, doing something on prescription drugs. The idea of bringing in less expensive drugs from Canada, that was a bill I did with Bernie. It was Klobuchar Sanders. We got 14 Republican votes for that. We will get that done, and I can get it done as president. One of the things that I did is put together 137 things that a president can do in her first 100 days without Congress that are legal. And I think what people are looking for right now is a jump start. I'm not just saying that because it's super cold. They're looking for a jump start for our economy, but they're looking for a jump start with our government so that we can gain trust again. And I've just laid out everything I'm going to do. I think that's important for people to see.
The trade relations with China under the Trump administration have had a significant impact on farmers in this area, in this region. The president recently signed that phase 1 deal with China. It doesn't get rid of the existing tariffs, but promises no existing ones. We're certainly waiting to see what phase 2 brings. In the past, you supported tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, but you criticized the president for his policies under this term. How do you square the two of that? And is the latest deal with China a sign that maybe the president's taking the right approach and we're heading in the right direction?
I'm glad that there is a temporary agreement with China, but I don't think it's going to get back everything we had. So many of these contracts for our soybean farmers have already been let out to farmers in other countries. And they're not just one-shot deals. They're longer-term contracts. You add to that the waivers he's given to the oil companies, some of them very big like Chevron and Exxon, which has really taken the legs out from under the renewable fuel standard. Senator Grassley and I have led on that for years. And as president, I'll be able to reverse those waivers in my first 100 days. I have voted for some trade agreements, voted against others. I view the fact that we've got to get our products to market, and over 90% of our potential customers are offside of our shores. But with that has to come strong trade enforcement. So when you ask about steel, in northern Minnesota we have iron ore mines. That's where my grandpa worked. He worked 1,500 feet underground. Those mines have opened, closed, opened, closed. You've seen some of that with manufacturing in eastern Iowa. And so the way we got them open again, honestly, was trade enforcement. Even before Donald Trump came into office, I brought Obama's chief of staff over there, had a meet with the mine owners and the steel workers, had a huge meeting. We got back to Washington, passed legislation, but made it really focused. That is the point. You focus it on what you need to do. Steel dumping from China, it worked. They not only opened the mines, they started to expand it. That work has been continued under the Trump administration, but other than that, some of these things that were so broad, one day he says, oh, we're putting tariffs on 300 billion of goods. Then the next week he goes, no, it's 150 billion. There's an old saying with trade negotiations, keep your promises and keep your threats. He has done neither, and China is watching him. So my view that we need, one, a trading bloc. That's why I voted for the U.S., Mexican, Canada trade agreement, and I wouldn't have voted for it without the improvements that were made on plant inspections and labor, which was a big help, and that's why the AFL-CIO supported it, because of the changes the Democrats made. And then you go from there to make sure there's better standards to protect American workers in the trade agreements. I think that works for Iowa. You've got both manufacturing and you have farmers. and you want to make sure that you can sell goods to market and whenever possible promote American goods, because when you hold a good that's made in America in your hand, you are literally holding quality, you're holding equality for our workers, and you are holding the hopes and dreams of the American people.
More of my discussion with the senator from Minnesota still to come. Klobuchar in chief, why she thinks she's qualified for that part of the job more than the other candidates. For the record.